Good evening, everyone, and warm welcome to the session. So we will wait for another 5 minutes for rest of the participants to join. Meanwhile, you can use the chat box or unmute and introduce yourself. Good evening, Ram Kumar, and thanks for joining in. Warm welcome to the participants who are joining through uh, live streaming on YouTube. Good evening, Shabbir, and thank you very much for joining in from Tanzania. Thank you. So participants who are joining live on YouTube can also comment on YouTube, and I would look at the chat, live chat frequently. Good evening, Pinky, and thank you for joining in. So let's start. So, thank you very much for joining in. Especially, it's a festive season in India, especially in Maharashtra. More than 110 participants actually registered. Let's see how many are actually able to join the session. So, today evening in next 90 minutes, we are going to talk about or we are going to understand about the subconscious mind and how we can utilize the powers of subconscious mind to remove negativity, increase positivity, and achieve success in our lives. So, what I am going to do is in next 90 minutes, I am going to tell you something about Apollo leadership and the kind of work we do. I will not take more than 5 minutes of yours, and then we will cover the content. And in the end, if you are able to keep your videos on, we will experience NLP live. So I will help you experience NLP and hypnosis live, group hypnosis at the end of the session. So Apollo Leadership Training and Consulting provides customized learning interventions. We provide customized training programs. Our leadership development workshop is our core workshop, which covers 16 skills. These 16 skills have been identified by Harvard Business School as mandatory for all managers and leaders across industries and across levels. So we cover these 16 skills in 6 days, 1 day every month, along with one-to-one coaching and giving projects in between. Apart from them, the other programs which we have delivered are uh, managerial excellence, team building, achievement orientation or result orientation, personal effectiveness, communication, presentation, time management, listening skills, assertiveness, and so on. One-to-one coaching and counseling we provide. NLP certification course, NLP life coach, and train the trainer program, which we are going to discuss at the end of the program. During this COVID times, we have delivered more than 150 online sessions on more than 20 different topics. Some of the topics which we have covered are under NLP. I will just fix my audio. Just give me a minute. Am I audible? If I am audible, loud and clear, please let me know. So I was not able to hear your voice. Just give me a minute. I will just set it up. Okay. If anyone could speak up, I would know whether I am able to hear your voice.
Yes, yes, you are
Yeah,
audible.
now I can also hear your voice. So thank you very much, and I regret the inconvenience. I took another a minute or so. So we were talking about what we provide under Apollo leadership and under NLP, some of the topics which we have covered. One, our flagship program, Powers of Subconscious Mind using NLP, Law of Attraction, Law of Affirmation, Successful Positive Mental Attitude. Under self-development, we conducted programs like how to turn our dreams into reality, self-confidence, superpower to success, impactful or persuasive communication, power of habits, managing emotions, mindset, thinking of successful people. Under leadership, we did four programs: personality type, communication and leadership maps, conflict management, the right leadership, and some unique programs like love languages, law of karma, and emotional wellness. So we provide entire learning consultancy uh, to small and medium-sized organizations to help them identify training needs based on training needs, design training programs, deliver training programs, measure the effectiveness of training programs, and also conduct pre and post assessments to measure the effectiveness, identify internal trainers who are technically competent, help them understand the concepts of training and how it has to be delivered, help them design and deliver those technical content. My name is Sanjay Goel. This is about me. I've got more than 30 years of corporate experience. I started my training career with Franklin Covey, Dr. Stephen Covey's organization. Seven Habits of Highly Effective People is world famous. Also was associated with Dr. Paul Hershey's Center of Leadership Studies. Some of the companies with whom I have worked and delivered programs. Uh, I am active on Quora where I answer questions put up by the readers. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch the recordings. In fact, the today's session is also recorded on YouTube, so you can check after the session. And my book, What Stands Between You and Success, was available in Amazon till last month. I have pulled it down. I am revising it, and the revised edition I will upload it in Diwali. Apart from that, you can join our Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp group, Telegram group so that you can receive updates. So under counseling, what I do, I will tell you in the end because it's a part of the program. So under counseling and coaching, what are the how I help people to achieve success, I would share in the end. So let us start. If our mind could be represented by a energy sphere, this is how our mind would look. Uh, and the smaller part would be conscious mind, and the larger part would be unconscious mind. Now, how the conscious mind and unconscious mind are different. So conscious mind is just the 10% of our mind, whereas unconscious mind is 90% of our mind. Our conscious mind is the part which does the reasoning, thinking, logical thinking, and it takes decision. So the logical thinking part is our conscious mind. So right now you're listening to my voice. I am sharing something about conscious mind, unconscious mind. You're listening to it, and you are you are analyzing the information which I am sharing. So this analytical ability is comes from our conscious mind. What does our unconscious mind do? Our unconscious mind acts like a storage device. So whatever information is processed by our conscious mind is stored in unconscious mind for future reference. So like we all use smartphone. So in smartphone, we have a processing memory where the information is processed and later stored in the storage device, which is generally very large. So if you compare the processing memory could be 4 GB, 6 GB, 8 GB, and so on. Whereas storage is nowadays even 256 GB as well, 128, 256, 64 GB, and so on. So it is comparatively large if you compare with the processing memory, because it stores the information. So whatever messages you have received so far in form of pictures, in form of text, is stored in the storage for future reference. So whenever you want, you can remove this information or you can access this information. Now, what is so great about this unconscious mind, which acts like a storage device? So it is, after all, a storage device. It is more than just a storage device. What does it do? It is unconscious mind is also creative, imaginative, emotional, and intuitive. So all the intuitions that we get, they come from our unconscious mind. So unconscious mind is responsible for those intuitions that we get frequently. Apart from that, what else? So our unconscious mind is creative and imaginative. So how do we know that our unconscious mind is creative and imaginative? So what we can do is we can close our eyes for a couple of seconds. So please close your eyes for a couple of seconds and think about an elephant. Think about a monkey sitting on an elephant and happily eating an apple. So a monkey sitting on an elephant happily eating an apple. Imagine the color of the elephant to be pink. You can open your eyes and tell me, what did you see? So when I request you to close your eyes and think about an elephant, a monkey sitting on an elephant eating an apple happily, what did you see? You can also use the chat box, or you can unmute and tell me as well. So you saw a picture of what? Ram Kumar, if you could be a little more, you can share a little more, it will be great. So how many of you could see elephant, a monkey sitting on an elephant and eating an apple? If you saw that, you can type yes in the chat box. Thank you, Ram Kumar Dhruv, for confirming. So this shows that our unconscious mind is creative and imaginative. Very unlikely that we would have seen elephant, a monkey sitting on an elephant happily and eating an apple. Very unlikely, right? But we were able to imagine all this. So we have seen monkey sometimes, we have seen apple many times, then we have seen elephant on television and movies sometimes. So we have clubbed it together and we have created an image of a monkey sitting on an elephant and happily eating an apple. Many of us could have imagined the color of the elephant to be pink as well, right? So impossible to see a pink elephant, but all this was created by our unconscious mind, which shows that our unconscious mind is creative and imaginative. How do we know that our unconscious mind is emotional? So how do we know our unconscious mind is emotional? So one example is when we watch movies. So some movies are kind of too emotional. They trigger some of our emotions. And what happens when these emotions get triggered? Many of us become sad. Almost many of us have tears in our eyes. Actually, some of us actually start crying. But we know consciously or logically, we know that whatever is happening is not real. It is all imaginary. But still, those emotions take over. Now, those emotions take over and we start feeling those emotions. However, after a certain time, when the emotions settle down, what happens? As the emotions settle down, our logic takes over and then we start thinking logically. So what happens is, because our unconscious mind is comparatively very large and it stores emotions. As soon as these emotions are triggered, because it is large, it takes over our logic. And because it takes over our logic, we feel sad because we are now in an emotional state where our logic doesn't work. But as soon as our emotions subside, we don't stay in that state too long and our logic takes over. That is why it is said that when we are too sad or too happy, we should not take any decisions because they will be influenced by our emotions. Apart from this, what are the other qualities of our unconscious mind? One quality of our unconscious mind is it works 24/7. It does multitasking. So consciously, we can do only one task at a time. But at an unconscious level, we can do multitasking. So right now, I'm breathing. My blood is circulating. My lungs are working. My organs are, digestive system is working to digest the evening snacks which I had. So all this is controlled by our unconscious mind. Our unconscious mind also controls our automatic responses, right? It happens many times. Suppose this is hot and I don't know this is hot and I pick it up. Before even I realize that this is hot, I will immediately drop it. So this is an automatic response which is also controlled by our unconscious mind. All habits are controlled by our unconscious mind. So we call those habits and they are controlled by our unconscious mind. Even our thinking patterns. So we all have a unique thinking pattern. And this thinking pattern is also controlled by our unconscious mind. In fact, 96% of whatever we do is controlled by our unconscious mind. Isn't it huge? 96% of whatever we do every day is controlled by our unconscious mind. And imagine if 96% of what we do every day is controlled by our unconscious mind, it is so important that our unconscious mind supports in our goal or dream that we want to achieve. Because unless our unconscious mind doesn't support it, uh, 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 we will be only consciously applying 4% and not the rest of the 96%, which could actually help us achieve our goals or succeed in our lives. Now, how does our mind work? So, we receive information from our senses. Our conscious mind, which is the logical part, does filtering, analyzing, and stores the information in our unconscious mind for future reference. You can say that our unconscious mind has unlimited storage capacity. Our unconscious mind has unlimited storage capacity. So the storage capacity is never going to be over. Now, whenever we come back, whenever we receive the same information again, so our conscious mind does not have to process it because it is already stored. So it can pick that information up and use it for reference. And this happens automatically. So we have no control over this process. For example, what do you see in this picture? You can use the chat box or you can also unmute and tell me. So what do you see in this picture? Three oranges cut. Sorry, four. Okay. Yeah, great. So thanks. Four oranges. Cut lemon pieces, right? So thanks, Dhruv Ramkumar, for sharing. Thanks, Shabir. White piece of paper, okay, on lemon, oranges, right? Thank you. Okay. So, how many of you can also see a square there? Right. Can you see a square also? Square. Thank you, Pinky. Yeah, Dhruv. Yes. Thanks for confirming. Now, the question is, does a square really, have I really drawn a square there? What do you think? Have I really drawn a square there? Dhruv says no, thank you very much. So obviously I have not drawn this square. We happen to see this square. Thanks, Pinky. So, but the question is, when I have not drawn a square, how come we see? How come we are seeing a square there? Now the reason being is very simple. What happens is, our conscious mind has processed this information before. So our conscious mind has seen lemon slices and also square right before. So our mind has stored this information. So lemon slices look like this, square looks like this. Now, as soon as you see this image, I see this image, immediately my conscious mind goes into unconscious mind first automatically to check whether uh, any information is stored about the object which we are seeing on the screen. And it comes across the lemon slices. It also comes across square. So what it does is, automatically retrieve this information. We have no control over it. So on this entire process, we have no control. We have no control over this entire process. It is impossible for us to see a lemon slice and not recognize it. It is impossible not to see a square here because the entire process is automatic. Whatever information has been stored in our unconscious mind, it is we are going to automatically retrieve it. We have no control over it. Okay. So the point to remember is the entire process is automatic. This is very important because this automatic process does a lot of things in our life, which we are going to discuss in our in the program. I will show you another image, right? How many of you can see this image, and what do you see in this image apart from trees? Tiger. Dhruv says thank you. So obviously we are seeing a tiger. Now this tiger has not been drawn. Two tigers, yeah. So there are more than two tigers actually. If you see them closely, as you continue to observe, you will see that okay, there are tigers in this picture. Now, what is happening is same thing. Thank you very much for confirming, Pinky. Yes. So what is happening is this is all automatic process. As you look into the picture, you will start seeing those tigers, and you actually have no control over the process. So the important is this is automatic process. So any limiting belief which we have stored in our mind. For example, there is a boy. Okay, there is a boy, and he scores less marks every time. He's not so good in studies. So when he comes home, his parents, his father, his mother says, "You are no good. You are no good. You are no good." Now he has assumed that he is no good. Whenever he goes, whenever he tries to do something, that critical voice comes out and it tells him, "You are no good," and that shakes his confidence up. Now, on this entire process, he has no control because his conscious mind is going to automatically pick up the information that was stored in the past. Right. Now, let's look. So, first part we understood what is conscious mind, unconscious mind, how they work, their qualities. Okay. Now, the second part we will understand what are positive emotions and negative emotions. Now, to understand what are negative emotions and positive emotions. So, can you give me some examples of negative emotions? You can use the chat box or you can unmute and tell me some examples of negative emotions. Envy, thank you, Ram Kumar. Anger, thanks, Shabir. Possessiveness, Ram Kumar says thank you. Being sad is also a negative emotion. Thank you, Shabir. Fear, Pinky says thank you very much. Expectations, okay. Thank you. Apathy, okay. Thank you, Shabir. Okay. So thank you very much for those uh, for those sharings on the chat. Let's see what I have. So in negative emotions, I have anger, frustration, fear, guilt, loneliness, shame, regret, sadness, jealousy. Right. So let's look at these emotions carefully and tell me whether they are really negative. Are they really negative emotions? Or, in other words, you can say, are they really unnecessary? Are these unnecessary emotions which we don't need at all? Are they really negative? What do you think? So, thanks, Shabir. Not really. Maybe they are coping mechanism. Okay, thank you. What else? What else? What do you think? Why are these emotions really negative or really unnecessary? You can use the chat box or you can unmute and tell me.
See, for an example, if the students doesn't have a fear about the exam, they won't
Right.
study. So
Right.
little bit of positive fear is required.
Right. So thank you very much. You are right there. Absolutely. See, fear. So if you look at all these emotions, they are necessary. They serve some purpose. For example, you gave a beautiful example that fear is necessary. If there is no fear, students may not study. Right. Some of them may study, maybe out of 100, maybe 3 or 4, but rest of the 95 will not study if there is no fear. Right. So, this is necessary. So fear is also necessary. See, when we have fear, we will follow safety. So while crossing the road, because I fear my life, I fear that I may get injured. I can get injured. So I will cross the road with care. If I have no fear, I would I would probably cross the road without any fear, and then the chances of my survival are less. For example, shame. Shame is necessary because we feel shame. That is why I'm wearing clothes and I am sitting in front of you. If I had no shame, I could have been sitting in front of you without any clothes. So shame is also necessary, right? Loneliness. Loneliness. If I feel lonely, that means it is an indication that something is wrong. I need to build relationship. I need to have more connections, more friends, more relatives, and so on. So every emotion, guilt is necessary because guilt prevents me from making the same mistake again and again. I do something, I feel guilty. Second time, I will not do because that guilt is preventing me from doing it. So, if you look at all these emotions, they are necessary like all the positive emotions we have. They are necessary for our survival. So, Pinky says all these emotions are normal and necessary, obviously. So, they all are normal. Right. So, how does this negative emotion serve us? They are important for our survival. We survive because of our negative emotions. Because when we have fear, it protects us. Loneliness. So they help us survive. They help us survive. Uh, If you look at our ancestors, they used to live in caves. Now, how did they survive in caves? Because they lived in groups. They had ability to learn. Above all, they were very negative. So they used to do think negative. In fact, our mind is designed to think 4 times negative. Now the world has changed drastically. We are not living in caves anymore, which was extremely hostile for human beings. Today we live in a world which is uh, more conducive for us, more favorable for us. But still we continue to think negative, 4 times negative, because our brain, our mind haven't has not changed as much as our surroundings. So if you compare the change in the surrounding and compare the change in our mind or the way our brain functions, it is insignificant, you can say, very little. Right? So what happens? Why do we consider these emotions as negative? The negative emotions attract more negative emotions. It takes us downwards. So it is very difficult for somebody to remain happy 24/7, 365 days. Right? Not very easy to be happy with joy, with gratitude, with motivation, with love, with hope. A person can live 24/7, 365 days. Yeah, but a person can feel lonely 24/7, 365 days. A person can feel guilty 24/7, 365 days. So negative emotions are something which is going to attract more negative. So more guilty you feel, the more guilty you feel. So it's like attracting guilt is attracting more guilt, more sadness, more unhappiness. So negative tends to attract more negative. Second thing, what happens is negative stops a person from taking actions to overcome negativity. Right. Now, being into coaching, counseling, NLP, hypnosis, leadership training, I come across a lot of people every day. Now, when our flyers are floated, there are people who call me. So what they will do is they will first email me, sir, I need your help. I'm into severe depression. I tell them, okay, come and attend the session. So you understand what is conscious mind, unconscious mind, how it works, and that will once you have that knowledge, you will have better. Uh, you will be better placed to take a decision. So I write an email, okay, come and attend the free session. Then they will WhatsApp me, sir, I need same person. I will say, okay, come and join the session. And then he will also call, sir, I am going through severe depression. Can you help me? I said, yeah, why don't you join my session? And then on the session, in the session, he doesn't come. So there are people who contacted me 3 years, 4 years, by 5 years before. They even write to me. I tell them, okay, tell me what are the issues you're facing, and we will do a session in 3, 4 days. We will fix up a time and we will do a session. They will message me, okay, these are the problems I'm facing. But they will not come to the session. They will not take one-to-one session. Right? So what happens is negative thinking prevents them from taking further action. It's like probably they believe that okay, nobody can pull them out of this uh, negative spiral, or nobody can help them out or pull them out of it. So negative attracts more negative and it prevents a person from taking positive actions. I will give you one more example of how negative emotions serve us. Suppose, uh, for example, I eat an apple and it has some toxic chemical sprayed, which I didn't see. I thought the apple is good enough and I ate. And there are some toxic chemicals, now they go into my stomach. When they go in my stomach, what happens? So I have ate something which is toxic, which is not good for my body. Then what happens? What do you think will happen to me? What do you think will happen to me if I eat an apple which has some toxic elements sprayed outside maybe? You can use the chat box or you can unmute and tell me also. I have kept the chat box open. get energy. Okay. There is a toxic chemical. Yeah. So food poisoning. Yeah. So food poisoning. So it will be food poisoning. So what are the symptoms of food poisoning? I will have nausea. I will feel like vomiting. I may vomit also. I may have fever, stomach upset, and so on. And then I go to a doctor. I'm sorry. I go to the doctor. Doctor says something. You have ate something which is not good for your health. Probably some food poisoning. He will give us some medicine. If it is severe, he will pump the substance out of our system, and then after 3 4 days we will recover. If it is highly toxic, it can kill the person as well, right? But because I'm feeling nausea, vomiting, it will indicate something is wrong. Now imagine situation number two. I eat a toxic apple. It has highly toxic substance. It goes in my stomach, and I don't feel like nauseating. I don't feel like vomiting. I'm feeling normal. I do my routine work normally. Then what happens? Think about it. What do you think will happen when I eat an apple which has highly toxic chemical? I am not aware. I just ate it. It goes in my stomach and nothing happens. Actually, nothing has happened. No vomiting, no nausea, no fever, no stomach cramp, absolutely nothing. What do you think would happen to me later? I will react slowly and burst out one day. Thank you, Dhruv. I have mentioned about the apple. No problems, Ram Kumar. That's perfectly fine. Fine. Thank you. Okay. So obviously, because you are eating an apple, it gives you instant energy. But yeah, but the toxic which has gone in our stomach is going to. It's so what will happen? This toxic chemical, because my body is not giving any signals, this toxicity will spread in my body and start damaging my organs, and I may get into a severe condition, even die. Right. So nausea, vomiting, fever, all these are indication that there is something wrong in my body, and I need to fix that up. I need to get treatment. I need to get treated. So these are the indication. Similarly, when the negative emotions are high, they are an indication that there is something wrong with our system, and I need to oh, I need to get treated. I need to take a treatment from this, right? So I need to take a treatment on this. So negative emotions, when they become excess, they are indication that there is something wrong in the way I am living my life. There is something wrong in the way I am seeing my life or my perception, and I need to change that. So they are an indication. If I don't act on these indications, then I am getting into a severe problem, severe trouble. Now the difference between a physical problem and a mental issue is that physical problems demand immediate attention, right? So for example, if I fall down from my bike and my hands start paining, I have to go to a doctor. There is no option, right? Because that discomfort will not allow me to stay without treatment. However, when I am into anxiety, depression, or any other kind of mental issues, it's not the end of the world, right? I can still continue to live. So mental health is kind of ignored. That is the reason why most of us ignore mental health, not realizing that we are living a life in high negative emotions that can harm us in long term. So you're wasting your time. That is one thing. Plus, it can do more damage than good in the long run. Like we ate a toxic apple and no symptoms, so it is same. It is going to be the same situation. Okay. So first part we understood conscious mind, unconscious mind, how it works. The second we understood the importance and why negative emotions are necessary. So far so good. If we are on the same page, please type yes so that I know we all are together. Participants who are attending on YouTube channel can also comment. I will check those comments. If you have any questions, you can share with me. So thanks, Pinky, for confirming. Thanks, Nilesh, for confirming and joining in. Okay. So we understood the importance of now negative emotions. Now look at the third part. Now we understood subconscious mind, conscious mind, and importance of negativity. So negative emotions are essential. They are a part of our life. Now, when we talk about extraordinary success, what is more important? Is it logical thinking or is it imagination? What do you think? If you believe logical thinking is important, type LT. If you think imagination is more important, type IM. Now, how do I define extraordinary success? So, extraordinary success can be defined in two ways. One is success which I have not experienced, or I can't even dream about achieving. So, it's so difficult. The second is I'm dreaming about a success which nobody in the world has achieved so far. So one is that I'm thinking about a success. I'm dreaming about or aiming to a success where which has not been achieved by anyone. Or second is I have never achieved it. Means it's so difficult that I have never even thought of achieving it. So when I talk about extraordinary success, what is more important? Is it logical thinking, LT, or is it imagination, IM? You can use the chat box as well and tell me. So Ram Kumar says imagination. Thank you very much. So Shabbir, what do you think? Pinky says logical thinking. Thank you. Ashwin, Dhruv, Dr. Kalyan, what do you think? Nilesh, what is more important? Is it logical thinking or is it imagination? Both. Obviously, both are important. But what is more important? Imagination with logical thinking. Okay. Uh, um, Logical thinking, imagination, and logical thinking both. Okay. So great. Thank you very much for all those valuable inputs. Thanks, Shabir. Okay. So let us understand what is more important. So more important is imagination. Now, why imagination is more important? Right. So if you also read Seven Habits, so Dr. Stephen Covey wrote these seven habits after doing a research of more than 15 years, right, on organizations. Why imagination? He also says that mental creation precedes physical creation. So anything that is created in the world, first it is created in the mind of that person, and then it becomes a reality. So everything that is a reality in this world today started with imagination at some point of time, or creativity at some point of time. Somebody believed that humans can fly, and he worked hard to create a machine which will help a human being to fly. So all the time he was dreaming about flying. Even if you construct anything today, construct a building, construct a road or something, or a bridge, first it will be kind envisioned in the mind, and then it will be planned and put it on the paper, on in reality. So everything begins with mind, or everything begins with imagination. So first a person imagines, and then he puts into action. Even in science, they have theories first. So first they will make a theory, and then they will go ahead and start doing research to prove that theory. So for example, Newton, it is said that was resting under a tree, and an apple fell on him. So he asked himself, why did the apple fell down? Why didn't go up? Now, for any human beings like us, right? Even when we were going to school and we were not told about gravity, we saw so many things falling. Children throw toys and they fall down. They never ask, their parents, okay, why this thing has gone down? Why didn't it go back into sky? Right. So what does it need? It needs creativity. It needs an imagination. So first, Newton thought, okay, there must be something which is pulling this apple down. So let's figure it out. Now he made a assumption, the power of imagination. Okay, that this is coming down means there is something which is attracting, and then he started working on it. And after almost doing a research for 14, 15 years, he was able to prove that there is something called gravity, which pulls all the object down towards him. And then subsequently, this gravity between the planets actually hold them, and that is how they are kind of uh, rotating around the sun or revolving around the sun, right? Rotating is on the axis, revolving is around the sun. So all this starts with imagination. All this starts with imagination. So imagination is the key. Now, why we say imagination is the key? Because as soon as we start applying logical thinking to our dream, what will happen? When we start uh, logically trying to analyze our dreams, what will happen? So I am talking about extraordinary success. I am trying to logically analyze it. What will happen? What do you think will happen? You can use the chat box or unmute and tell me. What do you think will happen when we start applying logical thinking on our dreams or our aspirations, right? What do you think will happen? You can use the chat box or you can unmute and tell me. I've kept the chat box open. What does logical thinking would do? What logical thinking would do to dreams? No idea, Nilesh. Thank you very much. No problems. Thanks. So what will happen when I start using logical thinking on my dreams and imagination? Our logical thinking will start telling me why this is not possible, why this can't be achieved. Okay, I will give you one example. I will give you one example. So it will start reasoning, right? So when you start reasoning, it will tell you logically why this is not possible. For example, you go to a petrol pump every alternate day or every third day before going to office, and you get your tank full, your car tank full of petrol or diesel, so that next 3 days you can go to office. Now, whenever you go there, you find a petrol attendant, a very young guy, looks very smart. He's filling your tank every day. You start liking that guy, right? So one day, out of curiosity, you ask him, so what do you do apart from being a petrol attendant? So he says, yeah, I study. So what do you want to become? So you ask casually. He says, yeah, I want to own a refinery. I'm going to own a refinery where we are going to manufacture this fuel. So that is what is my dream is. As you come out of the petrol pump, what would go in your mind? What do you think? After listening to this guy, what will be your conclusion about what he said? How will you take it? What will be your response? So you may not say anything in front of him, but what would you feel? What do you think? It's great. Okay. So it's great. What else? Thanks. What else? What do you think? What is your mind going to tell you? A petrol attendant who is making a living by filling petrol or diesel at the petrol station is saying, I'm going to own a refinery someday. How will you react? You can make a guess. You can use the chat box and tell me. Surprised reaction. Okay, so you are surprised. Very rarely a petrol attendant will become a Dhirubhai Ambani. Absolutely. So thanks, Ram Kumar. So you will say, you will be actually surprised, and but you may even say that okay, the guy is crazy. It's a crazy idea. Right? It is literally impossible for a petrol attendant to build a refinery, to own a refinery. It is absolutely, it is literally impossible, right? It is literally impossible. Some people might find it crazy. Yeah, most of us actually will find it crazy. Thanks, Pinky, for that. So it's a crazy idea. Now, why do you think it's crazy? Because you are analyzing it through your logical thinking. But there are people who have done such crazy things, right? People have come from complete poverty and they have become even prime minister or president of a country. From poverty, they have become billionaires. But the cases are very few, very rare. So so that is why what happens when we start dreaming big. So we should not try and apply logical thinking to what we dream. So this is what is my dream. Okay, so I want to own a refinery. So okay, done. Now, how to achieve that? So now we can start thinking logically how to achieve. So we will start thinking about the steps I need to take to reach or fulfill my dream. So it should be imagination and then moving into logical thinking, not logical thinking towards imagination. So allow our mind to dream big, and then once you know this is what you want to do, start working on it step by step. So that's what my book was all about. What stands between you and success? So logical thinking. If you if you can pick up any self-help book or motivation like Think and Grow Rich, Success Through Positive Mental Attitude, Rich Dad Poor Dad. You pick up any self-help book which talks about secret. They all will somewhere or the other talk about power of imagination. The guy was able to do that because somewhere in his mind he has created that this is what he wanted. I will give you one more example. So we all have gone to McDonald's and had a burger or something at least once, right? You all definitely have gone to McDonald's. Now, in front of McDonald's restaurant, you would see a chair, right? A chair, and there is a joker sitting on that chair. So, do you know what that represents? So it is there in front of every MACD. So, any guess why this store has Ronald? Okay, what else? Marketing strategy. Okay. So there is an interesting story. So the owner of McDonald, the name of the guy was Ray Kroc, and Ray Kroc was a salesman. He used to sell mixers. He used to go to restaurant, and so he used to visit restaurants and sell mixers. Right. Now, this guy was one day sitting on a bench and he was thinking. So he didn't even have a penny in his pocket, and he was thinking about opening a chain of restaurants. So he happened to go to a McDonald outlet. So it was managed by two brothers, and he went there to sell mixers. He liked the idea, the concept of McDonald's. So he took a franchisee and he started developing it. Finally, when it became really big, brothers, he wanted to go international. So international. So brothers, the McDonald brothers were not so keen. So they sold it to Ray Kroc. So that bench and the Joker represents the power of imagination. It is like it is like like saying that, okay, a man, if he wants, can achieve anything and everything. Achieve anything and everything if he can believe he can do it. So this is about the power of imagination and logical thinking. Right. So Stephen Covey says mental creation precedes physical creation. So that is why most of us are not able to utilize their potential to the fullest, because uh, our mind is already designed to think 4 times more negative. So we are more logical. We always believe that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. Somebody says 2 plus 2 can be 22, so we are not going to believe it. But in the world of possibilities, when the creativity means a lot. 2 plus 2 can also be 22, 222, 2022, whatever you want, you can create that in your life. So you can make anything possible if you believe you can. So that's where the power of imagination starts. So uh, it is power of imagination is important. Logical thinking is also important, but the success starts from imagination towards logical thinking. So once you decide that this is what I want to achieve, you start working on it, and relentless working, hard work is required to reach there, of course. But that conviction comes from the power of imagination. What is the biggest battleground in this world? The biggest battleground is our human mind. So every time, 24 by 7, it's like there is a conflict happening in our minds, whether to do it, not to do it. I will give you another example. For example, we use this search engine Google. Now, if I search in Google 10 benefits of having egg today, we will find 10 benefits of having egg, more than 10 benefits of having egg every day. If I search harmful effects of having egg every day, I will find results, harmful effects of having egg every day. So we will find what are the harmful effects. So life is like Google. Whatever you're going to search, that's what you're going to do. If I start searching, okay, I can't do this. So I will get thousands of reasons which will tell me why I can't do this. And if I search, I can do this. So I will also get thousands of possibilities, opportunities with which I can achieve, or I can do this. So what happens? We spoke about conscious mind, unconscious. Now power of imagination. How does you apply on your conscious mind and unconscious mind also? So how do you apply power of imagination on that? How do you explain that? Okay. So your mind is receiving information. Our unconscious mind, the information stored in our unconscious mind is 4 times more negative. So our unconscious mind plays no part in this. Our conscious mind processes the information and stores in the unconscious mind. So all the limiting beliefs are stored by our unconscious mind in our unconscious, by conscious mind in our unconscious. However, once the information goes in unconscious mind, you cannot change it at conscious level. So once you have seen the slices of lemon and it is stored in our unconscious mind along with the taste which we uh, along the taste along with the taste of the lemon, it is impossible to remove it consciously. It is going to be there. So all those limiting beliefs which are going to stop us from dreaming big or accepting that dream is there, is those negative is there. However, remember 96% of whatever we do every day is controlled by our unconscious mind. So if our unconscious mind accepts it, imagine if our unconscious mind accepts it, every part of our body, every cell of our body would be kind of working towards it. Even when we are sleeping, at the back of the mind, we would be thinking ways and means to reach there, to fulfill our dreams. So, but as soon as we start thinking big, our conscious mind interferes. Naturally, it will interfere. It will start telling us why this is not possible. So our unconscious mind will also always stop us. It will start analyzing and start telling us that this sounds ridiculous. This is crazy. Nobody has done it before. Forget about you can't achieve it. This is too way too high. Then what do you do? What do you do? How do you how do you feed your dream to your unconscious? So what we do is we bypass the conscious mind, connect with the unconscious, and feed it directly in the unconscious mind. So whatever dream, whatever goal we have, that is kind of fed directly in our unconscious mind by bypassing the conscious mind, which is too critical. It is logical, analytical, it is reasoning. So it will not allow anything which doesn't fit in logic to get into our unconscious mind. So you have to bypass the unconscious mind and connect it to or connect to conscious mind and feed it. So impossible can be made I am possible once it goes in our unconscious mind. So how does our NLP or the NLP hypnosis combination works? So first is removing negativity. So there are a lot of limiting beliefs which we have stored in our unconscious mind as we have grown, and then we increase positivity, and then the other word we use in NLP is manifestation or creating a future on manifestation at the deeper subconscious level. So once it is in our subconscious level, mind, deeper level, it will start working. So what we do is we do the part of a healer, motivator, and then sorry. Now beating negativity is lot more important even today. It has become more important even today. Why it has become so important in today's world? I'm sorry. Okay. Why it has become so important? Uh, First of all, like we already discussed, we are kind of trained to think 4 times more negative because it was necessary for our survival. Our environment hasn't changed. Our environment has changed drastically in comparison to the change that has happened in our mind or our brain. So we still continue to think 4 times more negative even when we are not living in not in such a hostile environment. Plus, stress is the highest today. See, 50 years before, 40 years before, stress was not so high. There was not so much of pressure to achieve things. Right? Everybody had very limited desires or needs, right? 40 years before, people didn't have even color TV at home. Not everybody had a color TV. Nobody had a fridge. Fridge was, washing machine was an alien that time. uh, telephone not there, uh, four-wheelers would be rare on streets, two-wheelers equally rare. Today, everybody has a two-wheeler. That time, having a cycle was a big deal. So today, the stress is the highest. The more you earn, the less you feel you have. The larger the house, still you feel your house is very small. Then the COVID times has increased the uncertainty in the world. So the world has become more and more uncertain today. So there is uncertainty with looming around everyone. Nobody knows what is going to happen tomorrow. There is so much of hostility and tension everywhere in the world. This is further aggravated by news channels. News channels, they show you negativity all the time because our mind is more capable of thinking negative. So anything that is negative is kind of accepted very easily by our mind. If you look at social media, it is also used severely to kind of increase negativity. Then we have movies. Today, the value system has deteriorated. Okay. The level of trust has gone down. People don't trust. Relationships have not remained so strong as it used to be before. So that value systems have gone down. Relationships have broken. 40, 50 years before, people used to live together. A father with his seven sons, their wives, their children, they all used to live together in a big house. So children will have somebody or the other always, their brothers, their sisters, cousin brothers, cousin sisters. So when your father's brothers' children were as good as your brothers and sisters. So there was no differentiation as this is my blood brother, this is my cousin, and so on. In olden times, you would see that there are people who were more attached to their cousins than to their own brothers and sisters because they all live together. So anybody could have formed bond with anybody. Right? But today we live in nuclear family. The world has become so materialistic. As soon as children grow old, they start fighting. As they grow, they start fighting for material wealth. Whatever you have is still less. So everybody keeps on fighting for it. I get n number of uh, counseling cases where brothers sisters are fighting for property. Right. Relationships have broken down. Social structure has broken down. We used to live together. Even if you go to remote villages today, so there will be 60 houses in that village. Everybody knows everyone. They all will go. They will all will go together to their farm. They will come back in the evening together. They will sit in the evening after their dinner and talk to each other before they go to sleep. So there was a bond, there was a communication, there was some kind of togetherness. Something goes wrong in one person's house, everybody will go there. Somebody has a function, everybody will go there. So they were all kind of living together. Human beings have survived because they live together. So being social is necessary for human beings. It is ingrained. It is important, extremely important to be social. So that is going down. Role models have we don't have right role models today. Right. It is not that we don't have good people in this world. The problem is that those good people who are doing great work are rarely highlighted. They are rarely kind of projected. Right. They rarely become role models. Our role models are cricketers and movie stars who do almost anything and everything for money. So because of which the level of anxiety and depression and stress is very high today. One out of every seven Indian is suffering from severe anxiety and depression, and he doesn't even know, he doesn't get treated for it. Right? Now, what does NLP do? So it improves self-awareness of people. So we our awareness about ourselves. What is happening to ourselves? Our emotional intelligence goes up. Our ability to understand our own emotions go up. We are able to kind of understand our belief system, where we are, what kind of belief system are we having? Is it right? What changes we need to make in our belief system if I want to achieve something? Improve our self-awareness, right? Have a more positive attitude towards life. Then dealing with the high level of stress today, improving health, taking care of addictions today, dealing with past painful memories. So we all will have some or the other past memories, painful memories, which are stopping us from achieving our full potential. Dealing with psychosomatic diseases. So people experience pain in their body. They go to the doctor. They tell them, okay, my back is, there is a severe backache. Doctor says, okay, go and do X-ray. Nothing comes. Sonography, nothing comes. MRI, nothing comes. But the pain is still there. So such psychosomatic diseases can be taken care of. Sleep disorders, I get a lot of cases of sleep disorder. People are not able to sleep because of those anxiety and negativity. Deal with fears. So we accumulate fears. Human beings are born only with two natural fears: fear of loud noises and fear of falling. Rest all are acquired fears. Right. So very simple. If I ask you, are you living a life? Are you utilizing your potential to the optimum? If you ask this question to any human being on this earth, what will be their answer? Are you living your life to your fullest? Are you using your potential to the fullest? What would be the answer of an average man or a woman? What do you think? Yes or no? So obviously, 99.99 people will say no. They know their potential is not utilized. Forget about all this negativity. We, because of this limiting beliefs, simple limiting beliefs, we are not even able to utilize our own potential. And these limiting beliefs are everywhere. The guy who is filling the petrol at petrol as a petrol attendant, he has a lot of limiting beliefs to take care of. So everybody, forget about all severe negativity, simple limiting beliefs. Everybody is carrying, because of which we all are not unable to utilize our full potential. So being more creative, what with the help of NLP, we can be more creative. We can find solutions to the problem. So we all have challenges and issues in our we all have challenges and issues in our life, right? However, and solutions are also there, but we are not able to see those solutions. What is the purpose of my life? So, so very few people actually know what they actually want to achieve in their lives. The earlier you come to know what is your purpose and what you want to achieve in your life, the more likely that you will get success. But better late than never. Even if you realize that this is what you want to achieve in your life, even at 50, rest of the years you can at least try to achieve what you thought was the purpose of your life. Finding out opportunities. So opportunities are there everywhere. Even today there are a lot of opportunities. The only thing is we are not able to see those opportunities. How do we communicate with self? How do you communicate with others? And how do you communicate with the mother nature or the environment or the divine power? Makes all the difference. So improving that communication, achieving success, attracting health, wealth, money, happiness, and improving relationships. NLP and hypnosis plays a huge role in that. See, remember, our subconscious mind, the programming which is happened in this subconscious mind, controls our mind a lot, controls what happens in our life a lot. So imagine you are working on a computer. Whatever information you store gets stored in the computer. And whenever you come across similar information, the computer memory says, no, in the past, this is what you have done and this is right. So you cannot do anything else. You have to follow that. It is automatic. What will happen to you? So the memory which is there, the information which is there in your computer is controlling what you are doing. It will not allow you to type anything other than what is stored in the computer. So you will be kind of this computer, whatever you are doing consciously, it is being controlled a lot by the information which is stored in our unconscious. So to utilize our full potential, we need to reprogram our subconscious mind. So if you can keep your videos open, we have some time. Uh, if you can keep your videos and if you are ready to invest another 15-20 minutes, we can experience this. Because if I have to give you suggestions, I have to see you. Okay, so we will skip this. Live coaching we had yesterday, but due to technical reason, we couldn't conduct this program. I will reschedule it and we will inform you. So this is going to talk about NLP model. This model, we can use it in coaching and counseling. A very simple model. It will also help people, kind of participants, organize those NLP techniques. So which NLP technique to be used where? This model tells us. So we will announce the date. To be connected, please join. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or join our groups and get regular information. Then on my book, next week on 14th, we are planning a session on what stands between you and success and leadership program. A part of leadership program, conflict management, communication, and leadership. So do attend and also share it with your friends and colleagues. So we spoke about removing negativity, achieve success. I had designed a program. I will announce the date shortly, where the process will help us remove negativity, increase positivity, and help us achieve success. See those things. So in this, we understand the challenges the participant is facing, define goal, then take the participants through different techniques which will help them remove negativity, increase positivity, and then create that future at the deeper subconscious level. So this was 1 hour every week, almost 5 week program. I will announce the dates shortly. So everybody should have a counselor come coach in the modern world to deal with this negativity and utilize their potential to the optimum. Then we have this NLP certification course, which is tentatively starting from 18th September, where we are going to learn 25 NLP techniques and 20 topics every Sunday, 4 Sundays. So this will help you kind of learn NLP techniques, help work deeper subconscious level, you can make these techniques work on everyone. The success rate of these techniques are 100%. I must have done more than 500 one-to-one counseling sessions, and the success rate is 100%. I am able to take everyone in deeper hypnotic state. Now, how to do that, we will learn during this NLP course. It is a completely online session, yet practical session. We get to practice with each other, plus we also learn the NLP techniques. We also learn how to use these techniques in group. After the session is over, we will do regular practice sessions as well. You will learn the applications of NLP. Now, what happens is when I talk to people, trainers, every other trainer is an NLP practitioner, right? But if you ask him, when did you practice these techniques last? Use this technique last in your training, your coaching, counseling, he doesn't remember, because they have learned techniques, but they don't know how to use it. As a NLP practitioner, as a leadership and a personal effectiveness trainer, and a coach and a counselor, I know now with practice where to use which techniques, and we will learn that as well. So whether you are a leader, trainer, facilitator, corporate employee, into sales and marketing, healer, Reiki practitioner, emotional wellness practitioner, yoga, meditation, gym, or dietitian, it is beneficial for everyone, right? So you get handouts, you get recordings, and you also get to attend practice sessions. Investment is after 50% discount, 14 to 50. And when you attend the NLP Life Coach, you get that certificate free along with the NLP Practitioner's course if you have attended NLP Practitioner. So if you want to attend, you can pay it in 3 parts. You will get additional 10% discount tomorrow. So if you want to enroll, you can connect with me even tomorrow and avail this early bird pricing plus extra 10% discount. And you can also pay it in 3 parts. These are the techniques. These are the communication model which we are going to cover, theory part, and the techniques which we are going to cover in this program. For theory, you get handout. For demonstration, all the techniques, you will get a recording all these techniques. Plus, you will get regular protection practice sessions after the certification is over. Right. So you learn and hypnosis along with NLP. Success rate is 100%. You can you can use these techniques online on any of your subject. So even if your subject is in Australia or England, you will be able to use this NLP technique. You will get regular practice sessions also, recordings, handout. You can use them for self-development. So you will be able to deal with your limiting beliefs. Plus, you can help others. Use it in group techniques. If you are a trainer, coach, counselor, you can use all these techniques. Plus, you can deliver your own sessions. Also, when I was talking about leadership program, we are having a 2-day leadership program where we are going to cover all the leadership related topics. So you can attend this program and also share it with your friends and colleagues. So actually, when I used to do it in classroom, I used to charge 10,000 rupees per participant. But because it is online, so we are passing all the benefit to the participant. You have to pay only 3,000 rupees. We can also do it as an in-house program. Okay. So these sessions all will be interactive with group discussions, group practice sessions, role plays, case studies, psychometric assessments we will use, video screenings we will use, quizzes and caselets we are going to use in this program. So this is about the subconscious mind, NLP and the leadership program. If you have enjoyed the program, do go on our YouTube channel, watch it once again and share it with your friends and colleagues also so that they can also benefit. Thanks, Ram Kumar, for participating and your feedback on the chat box. Thanks, Dr. Winston, Manoj Shah, and Pinky through, and all the other participants who joined in. Thanks to the participants who are watching it on YouTube, plus who will watch the recording later. Appreciate. If you really enjoyed the program, do like uh, and write a recommendation for me on LinkedIn so that it reaches more people, join our groups and stay connected about the upcoming programs. Thank you very much. If you have any questions or if you have anything to share, you're free to do right now before I close the session. So thanks, Dhruv, for being a part of this session. I appreciate it's a festive occasion for most of us, but you took time, valuable time out and attended this program. Uh, uh, People have great intentions to learn and grow. So I had more than 110 nominations for this program, but well, I assume that they were not able to translate their intention into action. So I assume there are no more questions. Thank you, Dr. Winston. No problems. You can always watch the recording on YouTube. Thank you very much. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful life ahead full of success. You have any questions, you are free to call me tomorrow, connect with me. And if you are interested in NLP session, you have any queries, you are free to connect with me tomorrow. Welcome to join upcoming sessions, free sessions. You are free to share it with your friends and colleagues so that they also benefit from these sessions. As you have now experienced it, my sessions are complete in 90 minutes. I try to give them as much as knowledge as possible so that you can so that the participants can apply and benefit in their life. Thank you very much. This is Sanjay Goel signing off. Take care and stay safe.